Okay, this video is about mixing in Cubasis. Okay, so what we're going to do is mix the track. If anyone saw the other video about the Behringer UCA 222 and Cubase recording, you'll see that I recorded these first 6 tracks here: percussion, some synths, guitar, and a bass, and a synth pad. So first of all, the most important thing when you're mixing is try and decide how you want the actual track to sound. Also, try and get your input levels. If you're recording audio, try and get your input levels right when you record. That'll save you a lot of messing around in the mix. And don't agonize over tiny details, because people won't know that you've agonized over your tiny details. Okay, so if it sounds okay, that's good enough. Right, so first of all, let's have a quick listen to what we had the other day. Okay, so that's all we recorded. So I'm not happy with that, because if anyone saw it, it was all recorded really fast and levels were all over the place and stuff. But that's how it was recorded, and I haven't done anything to this right now. The only thing I've done is added Guitarism in as an input slot in Audiobus, but that's for in a sec if we have time. So first of all, the percussion track, let me just solo that. I don't like that at all. I don't like the clicky metronome type thing. So what we're going to do first off is just open that, hit select, and these little clicks here, I'm just going to select those and erase them. Okay, so we've got half erased. Let's just have a listen. That sounds much better. So we'll select that one and do the same. Let's hit select, come back, and erase those as well. Okay, so that's done. So now we just have the percussion track with the sort of percussion-y thing going on. Okay, also it wasn't really loud enough in the mix, but we could turn it up a little bit there if we wanted to, but I'm going to add a little bit of compression. Okay, so we can go to Insert Effects, tap to Add Effects, and tap the compressor. This is just giving it an effect on the kit. So I'm going to take the attack up and the release down, and I'm going to leave the ratio at 1.6. Actually. Okay, and that should sound a little bit better. Okay, so we can hear that much better in the mix now. So let's move on to this second track here, the M1. Let's solo that. Okay, so that sounds okay. Might need to come up a tiny bit. Now this track we recorded with the acoustic guitar running through Stomp Box. So let's have a listen to that. To me that sounds a little bit tinny. Now the EQ in Audiobus isn't brilliant, but apparently in the next update it will be. So let's just have a quick listen with some insert effects, and let's put in EQ. So we've added a little bit of bass and subtracted a little bit of the top end, and it sounds a lot meatier. Now onto the bass. Bass guitar. Bass guitars, I like them to sound like nice and meaty. That one really doesn't. But the actual track wasn't too bad. But what we can do is if we're not happy with the actual input level, we'll just hit normalize, and that will do is, you can see that will get it to its maximum volume before it will clip. So it'll take the highest part of the song, the highest part of the track, sorry, and make it as loud as it possibly can be without clipping. So the bass now should probably sound, let's just get rid of that. The bass will sound way too loud now in the mix. Now I still don't like the sound of the bass, so what we're going to do here is add some effects to it. The first thing we're going to add is a flanger, and we're going to keep the rate really low, but we're going to increase the depth and leave the feedback at 50% to 40, between 40 and 60, and that gives a really nice feel. Flangers work really well with bass guitars. And then what we're going to do is add some reverb, but only a tiny bit. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to compress it, and we'll leave the ratio at 1.6. Take the attack down and the release up. Okay, so that's starting to sound a lot more meaty. Now this last track that I recorded, which was the synth pad, I did on a little Akai. The problem here is, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and make it a little bit bigger, is that the first part you can see that the wave is really small, and then the second part of the wave is really hard. This is because the Akai synth is excuse me, velocity sensitive. So obviously the first chord, which is A minor, I played lightly. The second chord, which was an E minor, I played really loud, which unfortunately you can hear the difference there. So what we need to do is lower the volume of that half. So we can select that half, and this little square in the center here of the wave file is the volume. So you can take the volume up and down like that within the track. So if we take it to about half, well, just below halfway, hopefully it will start to sound more or less the same volume. So that's really good. So I'm happy with that now. So as a complete thing, we have okay, so that sounds much better. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit to this. So we're going to take this up another 4 bars, and I'm going to select all the bass, select the bass track, put my position marker there, copy and paste, and just to make sure it's right, yeah it is, we'll just do that in the right place. So now what will happen is this will carry on, the bass will carry on, and I'm also gonna, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to engage the metronome, because I'm going to record, actually what I shall do is paste it for another 4 bars as well. So we have 12 bars in total now, and I'm going to engage the metronome because I'm going to, now this is where I'm going to use some of Guitarism. So we'll select Guitarism, the input is Audiobus, and let me see, oh yeah, I'm looped, and actually I think what I'll do is I'm just going to start from there, so I get a 4 bar counting before I start to record, so I'm not listening to the whole thing. Okay, so we'll just lift that up, so just, okay, so we can go go to Guitarism now. And here's Cubasis. So hopefully we'll get a count in. Right, so head on over to Cubasis and let's have a look what we've got there. We have our, we'll start from there, and so that sounds quite nice, doesn't it? But what I think I'd like to do is add a little bit of chorus to Guitarism. Very nice, but we'll make it nice and deep and bang it up in the mix. So we should hear quite a dramatic effect. Right, now, so we've got our nice bass. What we're going to do now, before we finish, is we're going to add a MIDI track down here. Just move Cubasis out of the way. We're going to add a MIDI track. It's already a percussion track. We're going to select that track, and then we're going to just put in some MIDI drums. Let's have a quick listen. So what we've got now, let's try funky grooves. Yep, that'll do. So now we have select, and we're going to copy, paste, and paste, and right, paste one more time. Now let's see how this sounds with the drums. I just want to set a bit of a loop going there so I can hear what we're going to do. Quite nice. So you've got some, it's probably a bit over the top there, but you have some live feel to the actual drums now. So we hammer that down a little bit to the pre-delay. Maybe we'll tweak that up a little bit as well. Drop the brightness. And here. And a little bit of EQ because it's just a touch too. A bit more. So I mean, we could go on doing lots of different things. Just let's just listen to the whole thing before we finish. Anyway, so there you go, guys. that's the basic idea, and you can carry on. I'm not too pleased with the drum sound, but there you go. I probably could change that something. What we could try is with just quickly, we could try doing it with R&B kit. See how that sounds? We could run through different kits now. Nicer. And of course, we could take our synth sequence, select that there, copy and paste, and that might sound quite nice. Actually, I think as well with the kit, I don't think we actually need any reverb, but we'll leave the limiter on it in the EQ. It gives it a bit of meat. And let's just have a quick listen to how that sounds now, and then we'll finish. Anyway, so there you go. Obviously you could go on forever and ever. You can add bits and pieces, you can tweak and you can stuff. When you've finished your mix, of course, you're going to want to do a mix down, and you can mix down to WAV or MP4 and export and do what you like. Alright, I hope you find this useful. I'll do some more. I've got some really neat production tricks as well that work well in Cubase, which I'll do another video for. Alright guys, later.